Yes. All right. So hope you had revised potentiometry from the app notes. Yes. So today we'll be discussing on the question and answers on potentiometry. So the most frequently asked questions and what are all the topics that you need to know under potentiometry. That's what I'm going to discuss today, right? So under this, for exam purpose, whatever I'm discussing is more than enough. All right. So first of all, define potentiometry and the principle and applications of potentiometry. So what is potentiometry in first place? Potentiometry is nothing but potentio. It means itself, it's a potential, is it not? So we are going to measure the potential difference. Potential difference between what and what? Potential difference between a reference electrode and an indicator electrode. Reference electrode is electrode in which the potential is constant. Okay, that's why it's called reference. Indicator electrode is the potential in which there is a difference, in which there is a potential change that will happen depending on the analyte of interest or depending on the ions that is present in the sample. Yes, so this is basically happening without any current. So you're not going to supply any current here. So the current, cell current, is going to be 0. So it is only depending on the cellular reaction that is happening, cell reaction that's happening with the ion which is present in the sample. So the sample contains ions. The ions will react with your electrodes. It will bring about some potential change. Yes, so that potential change, you're going to compare it with a reference electrode and you're going to measure the potential difference. So with the help of that, you're going to calculate the concentration of ions in the sample. So this is all what is potentiometry about. So potentiometry is a measurement of electrical potential difference between two electrodes, that is half cells in an electrochemical cell or a half cell. We'll see what is the electrochemical cell made of. So here the cell current is going to be 0. So we are just going to measure the potential difference. The current is 0 here. All right. So now electrochemical cell is the electrodes plus electrolyte solution. All right, it is the electrodes plus electrolyte solution. So everywhere in the electrochemical cell, be it a reference electrode or a indicator electrode, you will have an electrode and that is dipped in a electrolyte solution. So this will be the electrochemical cell, right? So each electrode in the electrochemical cell will be characterized by the half cell reaction and has a half cell potential. So that's what I told you. So this will keep reacting. You know, the sample analytes will keep reacting with the electrode. It will bring about some potential change, and that will be compared with the reference electrode, where again some chemical reaction would have been taking place even in the reference electrode, minimal amount only, but otherwise it is constant. So the difference you will be measuring and you will find out the concentration. All right. Now, potential is the power of half cell reaction and it's measured against a fixed reference point defined by the reference electrode. So that's what we had seen now. Yes. So now potentiometric technique is an equilibrium method because no current passes through the electrochemical cells. So you're not going to depend on the current. You're just going to depend on the potential difference. Now concentration of the ions or molecules in a solution will depend on the interaction with other ions or molecules, right? So these are all basic terms that you will know. So now this is the diagram. Yes, this is a diagram. Here, what can you find? First thing is I have a reference electrode. Yes. Second is I have an indicator electrode. Indicator electrode is the one that will react with the sample solution. But both of them are dipped in the sample solution only. Yes, this is the sample solution. So I will have a membrane in the indicator electrode that will specifically react with the ions which are present in the sample and it will bring about some electrochemical reaction. Now I will compare that with the reference electrode and these two are connected to a voltmeter. With the help of this, I will be comparing, I will find out the potential difference and with the help of that, I will be able to calculate the concentration. Now, what is indicator electrode? It is kept so that its half cell potential responds to the changes in the activity of analyte in solution. It is just what I had explained now. Now, half cell potential is of the reference electrode does not change. Mostly it will not change. Minimal amount of changes can happen that will lead on to measurement errors. So we need to minimize those errors. What is that? I will tell you now. The two electrodes connected to the meter, voltmeter, to measure the potential difference between the two electrodes. Yes, so hope it's clear now. So now what is the potential of the electrochemical cell? It is nothing but the indicator potential. Yes, because indicator potential is nothing but the potential change that has happened due to reaction with that analyte of interest. That's what we are interested in, is it not? Minus the reference electrode. Yes, minus the reference electrode and the liquid junction potential. Minus the reference electrode potential and the liquid junction potential. So I just know this is the difference. Okay, so what all we have to subtract? So from the indicator potential, indicator electrode potential, I need to subtract my reference electrode potential and the liquid junction potential. What is this liquid junction potential? Liquid junction potential is nothing but which is developing at the interface of the electrode with the solution. Yes, so we have two electrodes, is it not? Reference electrode and indicator electrode. So only the indicator electrode, it will have a membrane, and this membrane will specifically act with the analyte of interest. But some amount of analyte or anything which is present in the sample, the proteins present in the sample or any other ions which are present in the sample, if they are going to come in contact with this reference electrode membrane, and if it is going to bring about some membrane potential change, so that is what is called as the liquid junction potential. So this is a liquid. Inside we will have a inner electrolyte solution also. So that is why we call, and if it is crossed this membrane, a reference electrode membrane, it has brought about some change here, this will degrade. Okay, reference electrode will degrade if this sort of thing happens. This is an error actually. So this is nothing but the liquid junction potential. Okay, liquid junction potential. So we have to definitely take some steps to minimize this liquid junction potential. So now I have to subtract this liquid junction potential also. It has to be very minimal. If at all it is present also, it has to be very minimal. So now this is due to the charge difference and not the potential of the half cell. Okay, so only the ions or any charged particle coming into contact with this or getting inside the membrane of the reference electrode is going to bring about this change. So it is due to the charge difference and not the potential of the half cell. Okay, the exact potential that we are that we are interested in. So it is constant for a particular solution. So here we need to minimize this liquid junction potential. So we have to subtract it. Okay, so this is what is the electrochemical cell potential. So what are the different types of electrodes? So basically the principle of potentiometry is all this. So principle in the sense, this is what you have to understand. You have to just have your picture in mind, and what is the potential that you are interested in, you have to know. Now, what are the different types of electrodes that you're using here? I told you there are two electrodes. One is reference electrode and the other one is the indicator electrode. Reference electrode is what? They are nothing but standard hydrogen electrode, saturated calomel electrode, silver chloride electrode, right? And indicator electrodes are ion selective electrodes. They can be further glass membrane electrode, solid state membrane electrode, liquid polymer membrane electrode, and gas sensing electrode. Yes, so these are the different types. So these are the different types. Right. So what are the different applications? So whatever we know, what are the applications? How do you use this potentiometry? Basically, as an electrolyte analyzer, we know, is it not? So we used to measure the pH, sodium concentration, potassium concentration, all electrolytes. Yes. So these are different types of applications that we already know of. So let us see here again. So one is a pH measurement. Yes, pH measurement, acidity or alkalinity of the sample we are going to estimate. So that can be done using this potentiometry method. So for buffers, so enzyme activity studies, you're going to Yes, you're going. It is necessary for enzyme activity studies. Yes, also for buffer preparation. So, if in case for in electrophoresis procedure, if you're using the electrophoresis procedure for serum protein electrophoresis, the buffer should have a pH of about 8.6. Is it not? So, for that you have to maintain monitor the pH using the pH meter, and that works with the help of this potentiometry. So likewise, you have different conditions for different biochemical reactions. Wherever you need to study those ionic concentrations and all, you use this. Then ion selective electrode analysis, of course. Yes, so for in various serum, blood, or urine, or any other bodily fluids, you want to measure the specific ion concentration, you use this ion selective electrode method. Then enzyme activity monitoring and redox potential measurements. So in various redox reactions, you use this to study them. And oxidation reduction reaction, that's what is redox reactions. And monitoring cellular health, as in case of redox potential measurements will indicate some oxidative stress level in cells, so you can use this in studies relating to aging, sex, aging, cancer, and neurodegenerative diseases. And titration experiments like your chemistry labs in acid base titrations, complexometric titrations. Acid base is nothing but again acids and bases, the pH, the concentration of acids or the bicarbonate is present, that you can measure. And complexometric is some any metal ion concentrations which are present in the sample. And if it is bringing about any change on complexing with anything, then you can use these potentiometric techniques. Then buffer capacity determination, you assess the buffer solutions. Yes, and protein and nucleic acid studies for isoelectric point determination. Yes, DNA RNA analysis, you use electrochemical biosensors for biosensing applications like in glucometer, lactate analyzer is there. So in these kind of biosensors also we use the potentiometric technique. So these are all basically electrochemical biosensors. So these are the different applications that you have to understand about potentiometry. Advantages, so it's not listed down in your book, so that's why I have listed down for you. If at all a question, of course this is a previous year question only, so it has been asked like advantages, mentioned the list out advantages, disadvantages, applications. So all that we have learned, we have to just list it down. So that's what I have done it for you. So advantages of potentiometry, it is high sensitive. For sodium concentration, I have an electrode for sodium specifically. Potassium, in the sense, I have an ion selective electrode membrane, which is specific for potassium, specific for calcium, specific for any ion. pH meter, I have specific for that. So likewise, it is very highly sensitive. So even low concentration of ions can be picked up by my ISC membrane. Now, non-destructive technique, which means that in electrolyte analyzer, you give the sample is not deteriorated, the sample is not altered. After giving it to the electrolyte analyzer, you can just use the same sample for other biochemical analysis also. Next is simple and direct measurement. Simple and direct, it's very simple. Electrolyte analyzer, you just give the sample, it will take a small amount of sample, very minute, small amount of sample is being taken, and it will give you the concentration just straight away. So it is very simple also. And rapid and real-time analysis, yes. Versatile applications, yes. So wide range of ions, for wide range of ions you can use this. And low operational cost, yes, it's cost effective also. And minimal sample requirement. So these are the advantages. Disadvantage, if you see, electrode maintenance. So you have to constantly replace the electrodes. So every 3 to 6 months, you have to replace the electrodes. So that is one disadvantage. And the reference electrode can degrade over time. So you have to definitely change it. And interference with other ions, of course. So there can be some interferences with other ions or either the sample matrix. Anything can happen. Then limited to ionic species. So it is like, that's the advantage as well as the disadvantage, So it is limited to ionic species, not other things you can estimate using this. So that is one disadvantage. Then temperature sensitivity, temperature fluctuations will affect your results also. Calibration requirements, every time you use this, you have to calibrate. Yes. And potential drift. there can happen the reference electrodes, if it is if it is used over a long time, there can be potential drift that can happen. The if the silver chloride electrode that you're using as a standard reference electrode, it will degrade, it will lose its ion. Yes, so it loses potency also. So limited dynamic range is that, so where a broad range or a broader range is needed, you can't use this. It's very restricted only for certain applications. So these are the disadvantages of your potentiometric methods. Yes.